Hello and welcome. My name is Ash, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Ash Knows Travel, where we go over everything travel. And today we are doing a live travel advisor training for credit card authorization form and commission tracking form, the two most important components of a booking process. So let me go ahead and remove all this fancy stuff off your screen. While I'm doing so, if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't ever miss when I'm going live. So I am already logged into the back office, and I am actually going to start inside the travel cafe. I will also be using where our commission side is. I'm going to also be using the commission hub, and that's going to be inside of our website. So those are the two sites that we're going to be working on today. For the first one, if you ever want to get to these two sites, I'll go back and, well, let's see, not that back. We're going to go back here inside your back office. If you ever need to access them, you can always do my travel site for the commissions, and then the travel cafe is here, but I'm already have them pulled up. So first, we're going to start with the travel cafe. Here is the main page for it. To get to the credit card auth form, we do have to go to forms and then credit card authorization form. So when does the credit card authorization form come into play? And if you're watching this, you're probably a new agent. So let me go ahead and explain the booking process real quick. When it comes to the bookings, we start out, we get an inquiry. We're then going to qualify that client to make sure that they're not only a good fit for us, but also that they're a good fit for them when it comes to us as an agent. Following that, we're then going to send them 3 quotes that match their request. They will pick one, and then, yay, let's go ahead and book it. Here we start. Before we do the booking, we're going to want to send them the credit card authorization form on there so that we can ensure that we get proper authorization before we get to the actual taking their credit card, processing the booking, etc. So the first thing that we're going to cover is the credit card auth form. As soon as a client tells you, hey, I like this, I want to book it, immediately get this ready to send out to the client so that they can get it signed and, we can actually process the booking. So here we have the forms set up here. Now, always, 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 if the client is actually going to be departing within 21 days of you doing the booking, then you're going to want to follow a different process for this. Today, I'm going to go over the credit card authorization form, but this is not going to fit in the setting of a 21-day booking process. It is a completely different process, and you want to make sure that you follow up with your mentor for that. I also have a separate training for that. So this one is going to be just for a regular booking for the credit card auth form. And of course, it goes for all vendors. You always have to do a credit card auth form to protect yourself. So let's go ahead and get into the actual form. So we will not do this one. We will do this one here. Depending on the country that you're from, you will click it. I'm going to go ahead and click on USA English. If you ever need to know how to do this, you can go in here. And then, of course, we have all of the fraud prevention to make sure that you guys aren't, maybe processing something that's not actually existing, right? So if you haven't checked this area out, make sure you do so. But let's go ahead and dive in at the credit card authorization form. So you can have several different ways of saving this. Do whatever makes you feel comfortable. I personally just like to download it and send it out. And then, we have to both fill it out, but I do so in Adobe itself. So what do we put in here? Anything that says independent contractor information is you. Business name, address, phone number, email. Business name, phone number, email, etc. Then after that, I put I, which would be the client's name. I'll put their name. Hereby authorize me, right? That's me, independent contractor, to process the following below. Guest name. So this is going to be important why it says guest name, because maybe the person paying isn't the actual person going. If they are, put their name here again. If they're not, put the person who is actually the main person on the trip that's booking. Type of package it is, the supplier name. I send this before it is booked. We have to send this before it's booked, right? So the confirmation number might not exist. You can put the itinerary number if that makes you feel better, but I leave this blank and then fill it out after it's booked, so it's completed. Departure date, return date, contact name. Of course, that's going to be for who you're going to contact based off of the reservations. And then the credit card information is going to appear here. So name as it appears on the credit card, and then the last 4 digits of the credit card go here. Then you can see all of this in red. We'll read that in a second. The total charge to my credit card, expiration date, and then the billing address that matches this card. Then you also need the phone number, the email address, and if you offered your client travel protection. Let's stop before we continue on down. So along with this, we can't just take their word for it. It doesn't work that way, okay? When it comes to our errors and omissions liability insurance, it is required that for all bookings, we get this document. If we are taking their payment, we need this document. We can understand. If we're taking their money, we're going to run a credit card, we need this here. So, name as it appears on the credit card, that's going to come into play for a certain reason. If you read in red, it says, do not provide full credit card number written on this form. You will be contacted by your travel agent to provide that full credit card number and everything, because we're going to take their payment over the phone or on the computer, etc., right? A copy, a picture of the driver's license or passport, and then a copy of the front of the credit card is along needed with this form. Now you can see there's asterisks for this, right? Those asterisks are typically pertaining to certain requirements, etc. But for us, what you need to know is that the credit card, when you're sending it, if they're not comfortable with sending their credit card, I know a lot of people won't be, that's okay. Tell them to block out everything. We just need the name and the last 4 digits of the credit card. Because why? We can verify it with the form so that we know that it's them. This prevents fraud. This is also going to come into play for chargebacks. Let's continue. Travel protection was offered. If travel protection was accepted, this is very important for us. This helps protect us. That means, hey, I offered it to you, but you declined it. And you acknowledge by signing that the risk for declining coverage has been explained by my travel advisor. I understand that declining travel insurance, I may not be covered for any charges or cancellations of my trip. I am solely responsible and liable for any cancellation penalties and out-of-pocket expenses that are incurred. That's so important for us. And that's with that signature at the bottom, that secures all of this. So what does that signature do for us? 1, it's going to confirm that this is their information, that they accepted travel insurance, or if they didn't. 2, it's going to prevent chargebacks and fraud, right? Chargebacks, because if they sign this, they're acknowledging that they're going to pay it. That's why we're putting the total to the charge. If you were taking payments, you can write the payment schedule on here if you want, but right here it's asking for the total one. If you are doing separate bookings, if you're doing a booking in VAX and then you're doing a booking and let's say Viator, you need 2 separate forms. Don't do the same form. Do 2 separate ones, okay? Can't put the same ones over and over and over. It has to be separate. But when we come to actually like submitting the commission tracking form, we'll submit them all, like we'll submit them as a package, etc., right? But here you have to do everything separate, and it's for good reasons. If you're charging for one vendor, you don't want to slap another vendor in the same thing. It's going to confuse them, right? So this is the form. This is how we fill it out. Once we fill it out, we do keep it on file, keep it in a secure location. You need to have an actual signature with this form, whether it's digital, whatever. It needs to have something on here. It explains it very well in the credit card authorization how-to. So feel free to check that out before you do this. But honestly, it seems like a really big deal when I first talk about it, but I don't even think twice about this form. It is a part of the process. We are independent contractors. We are partnered with Archer Travel. So we need to protect ourselves, our brand, and we need to protect Archer, and then we need to go further and protect our clients. All of that is done in this form. It has a very great importance to it. And after a few of them, it's just a part of the process. Oh, you approve this? Great. Here's this form. I need you to fill it out because we need to make sure that this is not fraud, chargeback, etc. We're here to protect ourselves. Sign this. Great. I've been here for 3 years. I've never had anybody tell me, I don't want to fill this out. And if I ever did, if you watch my training from yesterday, right, where we talk about fraud, that is a big red flag. That is a big red flag. Ooh, wait, you don't want to do what? Why don't you want to do that, right? So you need to understand the importance. So if you ever have to explain it, but I also want you to understand the importance of it so you don't ever miss this step because it can fall back on you, right? So here is that form. Once we get all this taken care of, everything's verified, then we follow the next step, which is what? Booking. Yay, great. Now, if you haven't seen my training from Tuesday, check it out. It's called What to Do After Booking. This is a part of the process, but we're going to start what? We do the booking, we send the emails, we send the confirmation, and then we're going to go to the next important part of this training, which is the commission tracking form. Now, the commission tracking form is also going to be found in your travel site. So if you go to your back office and hit My Travel Site, it will load and look like this. But before we go there, you can go there if you want. But before I go there, I'm going to explain some things to you about the commission tracking form so that you have a complete understanding. It's because as of January in 2025, we did have some updates to it, so we need to go over every single part of it. So before I get there, I'm going to go to the part that is in our travel cafe, and it's going to say commissions. So there are great things about the commissions here. Depending on your country, depends on how you get paid. So you want to take a look at that. And then, of course, they have like ADP is how we get paid. So direct deposit for USA, check that out. They have facts about the commissions. We're going to go over those. We have the commission tracking forms. Here's another way you can access it. But for now, you have to go through the website. It might update here. But we also have the commission tracking form policy, which is important. And that's just basically the agreement compliance of everything that you are. When you go in to do the commission tracking form, it's going to tell you, do you agree to blah, blah, blah. This is it right here. This is agreement compliance. So that is that. But let me go to the actual, I want to see the pretty part of it. That's just like very straightforward. Let's look at the pretty one. So commission hub. Let's go by country. So depending on your country, I guess it would, vary, but I'm going to go through the USA. If you're from a different country, feel free to check those out. So important commissions, tracking form policy, effective. This is for everybody, no matter what country you're from. So effective January 1st, commissions for group and individual travel bookings will be reduced to 60% if the commission tracking form is not submitted within 30 days of the reservation date. What does that mean? As soon as you do a booking, you're going to do a commission tracking form. Do not wait. It has to be within 30 days of the booking date, or you have a risk of your commission being reduced. This, of course, requirement applies to all bookings. So we're not talking about the credit card auth form anymore, okay? Credit card auth form, we're going to keep that on with ourselves. We're going to keep it just in case we ever need it. But this commission tracking form, we always have to submit a commission tracking form if we are expecting Archer to pay us. If it's instant commission, that wouldn't work here. But in this instance, for the, just say a regular booking, we're waiting for Archer to pay us. So we immediately need to send out a commission tracking form, which I'm going to show you how to do in a second. Continuing, here's the agreements, the reactivation for reduced commissions. Of course, if an agent's been inactive for more than 30 days, they reactivate. You do have also a risk of, reducing the commission for inactive. If you're inactive for more than 90 days, or if you leave altogether, your commissions are forfeited. Anything else in here, they have it all, but that's pretty much the most important parts, okay? But if you go to the commissions tab, it'll give you a complete breakdown of it. I've been here for 3 years, and honestly, I never have a problem with this. I still have to read you the technicals, okay? But it's very simple. I'm giving you exactly what to do. Do your credit card auth form, you do the booking. Right after you're done with the booking, you send out your emails. Congratulations, you've done a booking. commission tracking form. Then you never have to worry about this ever. Stay active, do exactly what you're supposed to do on those two forms. You're good. You're successful. You're wonderful. All right. Now let's go to the commissions part so we can talk about how to do an actual commission tracking form because they just updated it. It is a whole new platform. So let's access it. Now, if you're going from your back office, you will go to my travel site, but I'm just already here. So here it is. Now, once you're logged into your travel site, you will click dashboard, and then you're going to go to commissions. So I always tell new agents, especially when I do orientation, there's three websites that we have, right? Our back office, which is Evolution Travel, our website, which is our commissions, and then the Travel Cafe, which is Archer, and the Credit Card Auth Form, because that's Archer. So anything Archer is Travel Cafe, Evolution, back office, and then commissions is inside your website. Okay, those are the three main sites that you work with. So if you ever need to remember it, just remember commissions, website, credit card auth, travel cafe, because that is Archer. All right. So now they have two different types of commission tracking forms. We're going to go over this one here, and then we can also kind of look at this one too. But none of us don't do group bookings, so it's kind of the same instances, but in this setting, we're just going to do regular bookings for today. So you can see here under the commission tab, they have several different options. So here is where the commission tracking form will lie, and you will go in there and fill it out, etc. Right? But in the other places, we have important components too. So paid commissions, if it's like we get paid twice a month here, and then of course, if you're international, it does pertain per country. But typically, on average, we get paid twice a month, 15th and the last business day of the month, right? So if this gets paid out, give them about 3 or 4 days after the payout. So keep that in mind when it comes to checking it. You're going to basically be able to see it not immediately. I always say that because guys get nervous. Then after you submit a commission tracking form, you'll be able to view the submitted commissions. It also lays in here too. You can see exactly the submitted commission after you submit it. I'll show you where it's at. And then after 90 days, if nothing happens, then we come to the part where it's where's my commission. I say that because honestly, this is rare. This doesn't happen that often. It's there for good measures because typically vendors are set up to pay within 30 days after the trip is taken. If it gets out to 90 days, you have probably done something wrong. There's probably an issue with the booking. You can technically call Archer and ask about it if you want, but you need to give them at least 30 days. They have technically up to 60 days, and at 90 days, we've got a problem. Something's weird. What's happening, right? Of course, you can call, but if you need, what they're going to do is to direct you to here, and that's where you do the where's my commission. And it's set up to where it has to basically, this is for if you haven't gotten your, whatchamacallit set up, but 60 to 90 days after the travel day is complete. Of course, you can talk to Archer, and then you can also email the Evo commissions at archertravel.com as well. But you can come in here and fill out this form. And I've only used this once in my whole 3 years of being here. And when I used this, it was because I had a booking transferred to me, and when I had it transferred to me, I didn't know I had to do something extra, and I didn't know that I had to do that. There's a thing. If an agent transfers a booking to you, you have to tell Evo Commissions at archertravel.com that the booking's transferred to you. I did not know that. So at this 60 days, I came in here, I was like, hello, what's going on? And then they were just like, oh, you didn't tell us. Now we know. Okay, great, fixed, right? So it doesn't happen very often, but I love that it's there because we don't have to email and wait. We could just go in here and say, hey, something's wrong. Check it out, right? And they'll get back to us. And they're very great about checking in when it comes to commissions because they want us paid out too. They want, they want to get paid. We want to get paid. So they're going to make sure that they, find the commissions for us. So now let's go in here and talk about an actual commission tracking form located in the commissions hub. So it's a little bit different than before, and it's great if you're watching this training, even if you're not new, because there has been some updates. So if you ever want to give them some feedback on the form, you can do so. And then if you need help setting it up, the group version's here, the regular one's here. But today, we're going to come in and do new commission tracking form. If you keep scrolling, you can see these little fake ones I make. You can see the ones that you've already submitted in the drafts. They sit here. So if you're ever working on one and it saves, it'll be down here. And then new commission tracking form is where we're going to go now. So it creates like a package. Even if it's not a package, you're going to give the package a nickname so you can track it. So for today, and like every day that I do trainings, I'm going to use Bob. Now, remember those terms and conditions I was referring to when we were reading them earlier? They were important. This is what they are right here. It's the same thing. So we're going to check it. Yes, we understand that we have to be active and we have to do it within 30 days, move all of that, right? Create. Now, we have it set up. Here's all my stuff. There's a travel package name. If you have a client that you've added in before, you can technically search them. But today we're just going to do a new traveler so then we can build the actual components of the commission tracking form. So, new traveler, we're going to do Bob, and we're going to, yeah, okay. And, yep. Great. Fantastic. We got Bob in there. Thank you, Bob. All right. Now that we have Bob in there, we could technically go in there and add more travelers, but for this instance, Bob's going by himself. So now we need to build the actual trip. So, new component. Here, you can see several different things. So, activity, Viator, right? Viator, golden tickets, concerts, what else? Anything that's project expedition, activities, right? Air is when we do like Centrav. Centrav pays us for booking air, so that would be here. Cars would be like Expedia Tap, right? Maybe Vax, or booking directly. Cruises, we know what those are. Hotels, we know what that is. Vax, Expedia. Insurance, this would be like 10-leg insurance. We have to file commission tracking form. Package would mean that you're going to do multiple versions of this, right? Or if it's booked as a package, for example, it has a hotel, a car in it. You're going to click this one instead of going individually. You can just click package and then add it in there. And then we have rail, which would be like Europe Express. What else? What's the Amtrak? Yeah. And then tours, which would be like Exotica, Tour Radar, right? Okay, you see where we're going. Okay. All right, so let's go in here. Let's do a cruise. And we're going to need a hotel and some flights. All right, let's go. Okay. Supplier. Oof, I got this. Royal Caribbean. Yes, honey. I'm just making stuff up. Oh, we went on the same date we left. 7-day cruise. Cruise company. Oh, well, you know what? The supplier technically would be Cruising Power. Yep. And then we're going to say Royal Caribbean. All right, cool. Ship name, Icon of the Seas. Ooh. All right, itinerary details. Oh, well, I've already done this. Okay, thanks. It just carries it down. All right, now estimated commission. So the estimated commission is going to be the total amount. Anytime you do a booking, it's going to give you estimated commission. When you put this in here, they haven't subtracted the 20% because we get paid 80% of the commission payout, right? So you're just going to put whatever's listed there. They will do the subtracting for you. So my estimated commission is like $8 bajillion. And then my total sales amount, I'm just kidding. Let me set that. The total sales amount is like 20,000. Whoa. All right. Oh my gosh. Okay. And now the booking reference ID, obviously that's the confirmation. So it's going to be like some stuff like this. And then if you have any other additional reference IDs, okay, if you want to make it to where you can repopulate this guy, you can put this information in here and it will save Bob into your system. Now we're going to go ahead and hit create. Oh, I'm so sorry. This is so important. Remember that booking date thing that we talked about? How did I skip the most important part? Well, it's okay. Make sure you do it within 30 days. Remember the process. Remember the process. Book, rinse, repeat, right? That's been instilled in my brain since I started. Get in here, credit card auth form, do the booking, commission tracking form, start over again, right? Make it a process. So booking date, we'll just say we booked it today. That's going to be obvious. So we're going to just come in here and pick today, and then it is set up to go. Yay, let's go. Create component. Come on. All right, so it has been done. Yay. Starting February 8th. Fantastic. Now let's go add a new component in here, shall we? All right. I already said hotel and air. Well, you know what? We're just gonna say air-wise, we don't really need to do that because it's very rare that you're gonna do add commissions on air. Um, let's just do the hotel. It's the same thing over and over, guys. So booking dates, 21st. Supplier, let's say fax. Oh, well, they didn't like that. Okay, fine. Let's say Apple. Yeah, that's fine. Apple Vacations. Okay. They're departing February. Yes. Going for a whole week, man. I don't know. I'm just making things up. Okay. All right. Great. All right. Estimated commission. Jillian. Oh, I gotta stop. Okay. Wow. Um, Fantastic. Okay. Yeah. All right. You got the idea? Yes. All right. Great. Yay. Okay. So now we've got our commission tracking form built. Here it is. You can put multiple tools in here. So if I book something on Viator, I can put it in here. If I booked a flight, it's a whole package, and you can put multiple ones in here, and that's totally fine. You cannot do this on a credit card auth form. You need to do separate. So I would have one for the cruise. I'd have one for the hotel. And if I booked it on Centrav for a flight, I would have it in there. If the flight's included in the cruise, I'm not going to add it. Okay? You get where we're going with this, right? If we were to do the package part, the package would work the same. You would just add it all together in there, what suppliers were booked. So the reference ID would be the same, right? But I didn't just book a hotel. I booked a hotel and a flight inside Expedia. Same supplier, just what you booked inside of it, right? So if you want to put some notes on here, you can, but after you're done, you hit submit and that's it. You're good to go. If you ever need to go in and delete it, you can. It doesn't hold it in there. And this one lets you edit it too. So that is all you really need for today. That is the credit card authorization form and the commission tracking form with a whole bunch of different information attached to it. I know that you've learned a lot today, and I hope that you have taken notes. If you have any questions for me, please put them in the chat now because I can't see it when I'm in here. So I'm going to hop over to my studio and check. But other than that, I hope that has helped you guys so much. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel and leave some comments below. Show your support. And I will be back next week to teach about some advanced trainings. If you thought this week was intense, wait till you attend next week. First off, on Monday of next week, we have automatically marketing like a pro. We're going to have the second part of this. So we're going to check our analytics and we're going to see how we're doing. Next thing that we have here, we have on Tuesday, we have personal accountability in the business workshop. Oof, this is a good training. This is going to hold you accountable. So if you need somebody to hold you accountable, see me on Tuesday because I will do so. Then we have how to master a social media platform. And then lastly, since it's the end of the month, we're going to do 30 days of content in 60 minutes. So you have your calendar set up for September. So we have an action-packed week next week. So make sure you hop over to the corporate Zoom on Monday and then see me Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday on my YouTube channel. But now I'm going to go ahead and head over to my studio. So if you have questions, put them in there. If not, I will see you guys next week. And thank you guys so much for attending. I'm going to put some music on so we have a little bit of background noise. And I'm going to answer all of your questions there.